Hey everybody, it is Eric. Happy Saturday night. We're going to talk about Picard, episode 5, season 2, called Fly Me to the Moon, directed by Jonathan Frakes. That's right, Riker himself. So I'm going to give a little bit of a warning here. If you haven't watched the episode yet, go watch it, come back, because I think we do know who the Watcher is. Maybe not exactly who, but what the Watcher is. All right? So you've been warned. Now let's get cracking. All right, so basically, episode 5 starts off with the Borg Queen, and the Borg Queen is like changing her voice. She finally uses the voice of Rios to take control of the Serena. And what does she do when she takes control of the Serena? Well, she calls the police. So she summons the police to the Serena. Snitches get stitches, Borg Queen, so we'll see how that plays out. Then we go from the Borg Queen to Raffi and Seven, and they rescue me, Rios, so all is good. All right, the most interesting part of this particular episode involves Picard and the Watcher. So right now the Watcher looks like Laris. And Laris does explain that, hey, I'm a supervisor. I watch, but I don't interfere. And I'm here to sort of like kind of watch and guide the Earth, but I'm not allowed to interfere. All right. So Picard kind of puts two and two together and like he did earlier in the season, he says, Captain Kirk went back in time, so I guess we can go back in time. We can time travel. Picard does it again. After hearing all this, Picard goes, oh, Captain Kirk bumped into someone named Gary Seven that was like a supervisor and was meant to supervise the Earth. And if you know what he's talking about, he's referring to the episode called Assignment Earth. It was the last episode of season 2. Captain Kirk and crew go back in time to the 60s just to check out what's going on with Earth. And they bump into Gary Seven. He is a supervisor from a planet. Somehow they transport him aboard the Enterprise and start to interfere with what he's doing. So Gary Seven is from a secret planet he can't divulge, and he has a pet cat. And apparently we find out the pet cat, the name is Isis, and the cat can like turn into people. So is this Watcher actually Laris? Is this Watcher Gary Seven? Probably not. Is this Watcher actually Isis the cat? Now, why am I making the connection here between our show and Assignment Earth? Because when our supervisor materializes and transports, there's like purple smoke around her. And when Gary Seven materialized and transported himself, it had the same purple smoke. All right, so what's going on here? What's the problem that needs fixed to fix the timeline? Apparently, we're concerned about Renee. And I was like, well, who's Renee? And it's Renee Picard, the great aunt of Jean-Luc Picard. Coincidence? I don't know. And in the normal timeline, where we get the Federation and world peace, Renee goes on this trip, this space flight to Europa. It's the Europa mission, and it's just days away. In the bad timeline, Renee is going to have doubts and change her mind and not go on this space flight, and humanity won't be united somehow. So we have Laris and Picard. Somehow they're watching Renee in a therapy session with her therapist, and she's having these doubts. She's expressing these doubts to her therapist, and the therapist is sort of egging her on, like, "Yeah, you got doubts. Don't do the space flight." And Jean-Luc says, "Hey, let's turn this camera around." I don't know how they can watch the therapy session, but let's turn the camera around and let me see this therapist. And sure enough, the therapist is Q. All right, so Q's not done there. No, he is going to approach Dr. Sung, played by Brent Spiner. Dr. Sung is a geneticist who has a daughter, Corey, that has a genetic blood disease. When Corey goes out in the sunlight, her skin, her blood boils. And that's really no good. So Q reaches out to him and says, hey, I got a cure for this disease. Gives it to Dr. Sung. Dr. Sung gives it to Corey. And she goes swimming. Lots of swimming. But the cure wears off and her blood starts to boil and looks all gross and disgusting. So Dr. Sung says, hey, what's up with this? And Q says, well, you do something for me and I've got a permanent cure for that disease. All right, let's not forget about the Borg Queen. She called the police, remember? So the police come and the Borg Queen assimilates this or puts the tentacles into this police officer. She calls Dr. Girardi. Agnes comes in, and the Borg Queen's like, listen, I'm going to kill this guy. I need you to join me. In every timeline, you're alone, but, I got what you need, baby. And let's hook up, basically. Agnes says, that's bullshit. I'm going to grab a shotgun and shoots. And I'm not sure. Did she kill the cop? Did she, I don't think she killed the Borg Queen, but looks like she hit both of them. So snitches do get stitches. All right, so the episode ends with everyone back on the Serena. Even Laris and Picard are back. Everyone's back. And Picard says, here's what we got to do. We got my great aunt, and she's going to go to this gala before her Europa mission. We need to go get into the gala and make sure that she does not back out. Make sure that nothing influences her to change her mind. She has to go forward with the Europa mission. So there's a problem. Apparently there's really tight security. There's a lot of facial recognition. So even if they would transport into the gala, the facial recognition cameras would show that these people don't belong. So if they can get Girardi in, they transport Girardi in, she can hack things from the inside. So she actually gets captured on purpose to gain access, I think, to the computers, to probably put the faces of Picard and gang into the computer system so facial recognition doesn't get triggered. So she does get captured and she's there, and the episode sort of ends with the Borg Queen, we realize, did sort of like merge with Girardi. So Girardi's there about to do what Picard and crew want her to do, but then the Borg Queen is there and says, I'm here and blah, blah, blah. So what's the Borg Queen going to do? Play ball, cooperate, or interfere with this heist? All right, Jonathan Frakes, you did a very fine job, sir. I thought this was a very well-directed episode. Well-written, very interesting character moments. No action, but again, I'm very invested in what's going on here, and I like it. I like how they explained the Watcher by using the old episode Assignment Earth. That episode, if I didn't mention that already, Terry Garr, very young Terry Garr is in that episode, featured in that episode. Good episode. That's a good one. Spock's Brain, the next episode, not so good. Let me know. Any of you out there like Spock's Brain? I don't know. So yeah, very interesting. I also want to know what Q wants with Dr. Sung. So it was good to see Brent Spiner back in that role as well. So all right, I liked it. I recommend Picard still. It hasn't disappointed me. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this episode. What does Q want with Dr. Sung? Everybody, have a great day, a great week. Thank you for stopping by. And as always, I will see you on the new.